Hello everyone, we're going to be doing another bird room tour thing, and it's not going to suck as much as the last one. That's the goal anyways. So, I'm going to get going. We got little ZB up here. What you doing up there? What you doing? Hi? This is just little plastic PVC connectors and wooden dowels. This has been like their main little giant like play gym thing for a while. The stuff on here changes out quite a bit. I usually move all the toys and things off of it. There isn't a ton here right now because it's all in their cages and it's kind of all over the place, and I'm also not really sure if I'm keeping it there or not. It used to be here in this like middle area between all of the desk. But I moved it over here because I felt that made it have more space. So yeah, that's it for that thing pretty much. It's got like a wacky wood perch, and this part's got, this part here has grip on it because of Mia's feet. That's basically that. So I guess next over is this thing, which is kind of like a garden thing that they stick in and have the like plants grow up. Basically is what the design of two sides of this are. It's just bamboo and bamboo skewers. You just like drill holes in and stick that in. This thing is always on top of a sheet, obviously, because there is no base to catch their delightful bird poop. But I find this thing actually really helpful because of like the spacing of these things with how small my birds are. I've never had them actually poop on the thing itself. It always just falls straight down. They've never pooped on that device in the entire time it's been here, and it's been here for like a year. So, you know, I find that really helpful. It does sometimes hit the stuff like that I have in here, but that's not that big a deal. And like there's some on this that can just be picked off. So no, I find that really helpful. I'm really happy with that thing. And then I guess above from that we have this, which is crooked and off to the side and in reverse, which is just that twine ball with the sticks shoved in it, which I did a tutorial thing on a while ago, which really doesn't need a tutorial, just stab sticks in a twine ball. And then from that we got Flippy. Hi Flippy. He's not a people person, or I guess a people bird. And so you're probably not going to be able to see this, but over on the window, okay, so you can't make it out, is a net that I just made by tying knots between cotton rope, and that's basically all that is. They don't use it a ton, but they do kind of use it when they're in like a good, like playful, excited mood. And then you've got Mia's perch here, which I still kind of need to clean. Mia really likes this spot because it's got the sunny window. And then over here, the lighting isn't going to adjust. This is a recent change, is I've got a thicker rope that connects there, and it also connects to the edge of their cage, that you can make it out. You're currently kind of like plugged into the wall because the battery was dead, so I can't move you too much, I'm sorry. But this is a thing they usually love to nap on a lot, but I might have to move it because I don't want them pooping on Mr. Flippy Bird over there. And then I'm gonna unplug you for a second. Over here, switching sides, yep, this thing, just a general boing perch, and the DIY natural wood perch thing. It's just kind of hooking off that. Hi, ZB. Boop. Okay. And then aside from that is just their cages, which are taller than I am, which is awesome. And they're filled with a lot of toys, and I might change this out. It was actually filled with a lot of toys since I was in college, so we're spending more time in there, but now that I'm home all day, they won't be spending as much time in there, so I need to make the outside of the room more interesting. With regards to cage design, I guess, food dishes I always like to have kind of near the front, because they're going to be knocking stuff over the edge or dust and things, so you don't want it like getting stuck behind the wall. This way it can fall forwards, which is why there is this towel on the ground right here. Obviously lots of natural varied wood perches and a ZB bird right there. Natural varied wood perches and toys and whatever. This is Mia's cage, so it has this little platform thing in it because of her foot. And her water dish is, you can barely make out the green right there-ish, is yeah, her water dish is at the back there because water isn't really going to spill, and that way it's away from, away from the seed dish, so she's not going to be seeding her water all the time. And then below Mia, is ZB, which I usually get comments on this. It is a completely different cage. It's the same cage, but it's completely separated. Like if you look up here, shove you in here. it's completely barred off and it has the tray there, so that there's no way they can access each other. Hi. Can you wave for her? Can you wave for everyone? Hi. Can you get out of here? Come on. You don't want to step up? Can you step up? Nobody wants to step up? There you go. Now you want to step up. Just gonna move her out of the way for a sec. Okay, so in here, same deal, pretty much. Natural wood perches, all sorts of things and toys. Sorry, I can't hold this straight. You know, swings, whatever. Things that it's kind of specific to whatever bird each bird likes. They both have a petty perch in here somewhere. Zeebee's is down here. And she's also got a cement one. Mia has a blue one. A blue, sandy one. Again, food dishes at the front. Water dish higher than the seed dish. Sorry, I'm having real difficulty figuring out how to make this not sideways. There we go. That's so much better. This is going great. And then right next to their cages, over in this corner, over there, is the air filter, which is a Honeywell air filter. I forget the exact model. I forgot the exact model of that. Yeah, I can figure it out later. I'll put in a title over there. Back here, shelves. Crooked shelves. There we go. Whoa, okay, there we go. Up there, travel cage. Mia likes to hang up there, as she nicely exhibits. And then we've also got like a bag of clothes pegs and this other stuff that's not a bag. That's a tub. That's a tub of clothes pegs. That is what that is. A tub of clothes pegs is the orange thing. And then, just other miscellaneous stuff. This next shelf is like emergency things here. You can't really see it because it's all wrapped up. There's oil. Hi, yeah, you're not supposed to be there. There's oil for things like choking, and there's little like emergency things for splinting. And then there's just kind of miscellaneous cups and extra bits that my camera gets to hang out here. Next shelf, which again, crooked, straight, doesn't have a ton on it. There's like skewers for veggies and stuff for doing their nails and their feathers or whatever. The next shelf is more like construction stuff. This is typically full of perches, and now it's got like rope. You got all the scissors and glues and the vet wrap. That's pretty much all that's in this shelf. And then the next is the toy box, which is actually kind of empty right now. It's mainly just big things they don't use very much. And next to that is toy parts. And then the lower shelf is kind of nothing. It's kind of just like training props. So there's like target sticks and basketball hoop and whatever. And that's basically it for this. If I stand all the way back here, you can kind of see them all. So yeah, they're hooked with, you know, a screw into the ceiling and then, you know, a hook connected to it. And then because they're so thick, I did tie them in a knot and then tie a smaller string around the knot so I could easily hook it. And you've got them all kind of like screwed into the ceiling and stuff hanging off of it. This one I need to make more fun because there's nothing on it, but I'll figure that out another time. Okay, so Anonymous asks, I've got two little budgies and I rearrange the cage approximately monthly with new toys and a variety of perches, etc. Problem is, no matter what I do, one of them insists on sleeping in his water dish and pooping in it all night. It doesn't seem to matter where the dish is located or what other perches are available. That little nerd insists on sleeping on his water. Suggestions. The main fix we usually do is making sure where you're putting the dish. If you're putting it up high, it's usually going to be somewhere where they want to be more often. So if you haven't tried, moving the dish lower is usually a pretty good way to fix the problem. If you've done that and they're still kind of going for it, the only thing I could suggest would be to either get a water dish cover or getting a weekend feeder water dish, which is kind of, it's like a tube. I will put a picture over here. It's a tube and then it's got a little sort of trough at the bottom of it. So just a little bit's exposed for them to be able to still scoop water out. Water bottles for birds, yay or nay? Typically nay. The reason for this being that the things themselves tend to have a lot of problems. Sometimes the balls can get stuck if they're ones that have a ball. They can also rust really easily. They're really hard to clean out thoroughly, which can make birds really sick since they do have very sensitive microbes in their body. We don't want to be putting a lot of bacteria in there that doesn't need to be there. The other issue with them is that birds like to be mischievous, and there have been cases where birds have taken pieces off of toys and actually stuffed them into the end and jammed the water bottle, which has caused the bird to dehydrate. And, you know, as I've said, they're hard to clean. Hi, Mia. Yes, you're beautiful too. Okay, look at this. Look at this ridiculous This is not what I need right now. Let's not do that. Okay, Mia, are you gonna help me fix this? Yeah? The Parrot Project asks, I noticed some people like to cram a cage with toys, and some prefer to only keep them with a couple toys at a time. A couple toys at a time, with 2 to 3 perch options, and offer more open space, especially those with large birds. Which do you prefer and why? I try to offer as many toys as I can, while still allowing ease of movement. She still gets exercise out of the cage. I'm pretty much with you on this boat. I like to give them as many different types of toys that they can play with, because if they're going to be in their cages, it's going to be easy for them to get bored with only 2 to 3 things. I do like to make sure they have enough space to fly, and you saw the cages a bit earlier. There is enough space for them to kind of hop around and fly and flap their wings and have fun, but there's also a lot of enrichment in there for them. There's a lot of different things for them to do, so if they did get bored with one thing, it would be very easy for them to find another thing to work on. I don't offer all the same toy. I offer a lot of different things so they have a lot of fun. I definitely wouldn't be cramming it so full that the bird has difficulty moving, because then that kind of takes away some of the enrichment, because part of the fun is that they're getting exercise and they're moving around. That's really why we want to be giving them the biggest cages as possible, so that way they can be exercising. But if we're not allowing them the ease of movement, then they're not going to be exercising, and that takes away that entire portion of their enrichment. When it comes to only 2 and 3 toys, unless you're going to be gone for like 30 minutes, that's not really going to be enough toys to really keep a bird entertained, especially larger birds, because they do need a lot of mental enrichment. And if you'll excuse me for 1 second, ZB is trying to eat my camera. What products do you usually use while deep cleaning? I usually use vinegar. I usually use vinegar as well as my main thing. If I'm doing the carpet or anything like that, I usually use baking soda and vinegar. It also kind of depends on what I'm specifically cleaning. Obviously, if it's a towel, it's just getting thrown in the washing machine with mild detergent. But if it is anything the birds directly come in contact with, like, you know, a play gym or toys or their dishes, it is usually vinegar, because it is non-toxic for them to be eating, and it is a disinfectant. Dish soap is another option you can use, and I will sometimes use dish soap on things that need a really deep cleaning that they don't come in contact with. Like, I would never use dish soap on a food dish, because I don't want them eating dish soap in case some residue does get left over. But I might use dish soap on, you know, like their cage tray, if that's getting pretty dirty or is having like a super deep clean. Or I might use it on a perch that's got really caked on stuff, as long as that perch gets super thoroughly washed down. So super mild dish soap will sometimes be used if it really needs a deep cleaning. Otherwise, it is usually vinegar. Let's see if this thing will crash again. Maybe I should just, yeah, see, look, every time! Do they go back in their cages to eat or drink when they're out in their room? Or do you have food or water provided for them outside of the cages as well? Do you ever miss them, or do they usually bathe themselves? Since you have carpet flooring, do you ever find hidden poops in the carpet? How do you minimize mess from chewed? Example, chops, Nutriberries. Okay, so First question, they do just go back to their cages. When I was first getting them, I'm kind of used to being out of their cages pretty much 24/7, except for nighttime. I did leave water dishes and food dishes out, or I would make sure to check on them every couple minutes and offer them their water dish and bring them back in. And from doing that, they kind of learned, hey, if I'm hungry or thirsty, I just walk back in there. Okay. Your show's over now, buddy. Alright, sorry. No, Flippy! Do you ever miss them, or do they usually bathe themselves? I don't miss them with a bottle. Neither of them are particularly fond of that. I will sometimes bring them into a shower and let them get kind of steam. ZB is about the only bird who will actually have a shower, like shaking yourself off. Mia usually just kind of likes the steam and the warmth. The only time I shower them is if they've been going a particularly long time without bathing, or it's like molting season or winter, where they're going to be less likely to want a bath, but they do still need one because you want to make sure their skin isn't drying out. Mia, also, when the tree wasn't dead, she liked to bathe around in that little maple tree I had for her. And so that was a fun way for her to get a bath, although she didn't really get clean. Sure, these kind of smelled like damp leaves, but still a fun enrichment experience for her. There's a video of that here if you want to check that out. I'm really sad that tree died. It's funny because her doing that is what actually killed the tree. Because I would spray the tree because that way she could do that, because it was something she really enjoyed doing. But the water on the leaves with the sun from the window gave the tree a sunburn. And so now I'm like 95% sure that tree's dead. It's in the backyard right now, hoping it'll come back to life, but I don't think it will. If it doesn't by, you know, spring, then I'll get her a new tree, because she really liked that tree. Since you have carpet flooring, do you ever find hidden poops at the carpet? I don't usually find hidden poops on the carpet because, as you kind of saw a bit earlier, I do have towels and things all over the floor and on the spots where they go most often. When they do poop on the carpet, like my chair's back here, so they usually come over and chill with me, I usually just dab it up right away, and then that's it, it's done with. I may occasionally find one if they've like done a flying poop, but those really don't happen all that often. It's not that big a deal. How do I minimize mess from food? So one of the things is this. Underneath the main play gym is a fitted bed sheet, which is kind of loose right now. I'll have to fix that in a sec. This catches most of their mess and then kind of keeps it contained in these walls. So that keeps most of the seed mess. So I could give them a Nutriberry up here and it would pretty much stay here. Some of it might go over, but you know, little hand vacuum cleaner, that's not gonna be a big problem. This will keep most of the mess, and then I can just pick up this towel and dump it outside to feed seed to the grass. The other thing is I cover all the surfaces that they're mainly gonna be on with towels. So, you know, poop and seed or whatever can land on this. Again, I can just scoop it up and throw it outside, not a big deal. This is probably the best decision I've ever made. It's just half of a box that I covered in paper towels. And this is where I'll put all their veggies, or maybe if I'm giving them a Nutriberry, I might put one in here. And this way they can flick their berry juices or whatever, it'll hit the walls, and yeah, I can just peel it off, and it's no big problem. I've never had berry juice come flying out this way for some reason. Not sure why. It only ever goes here, and it's because my birds are small. They have not been able to flick it over the back of this roof. So this is kind of the main thing for keeping most of the mess contained. There may be some that kind of gets here, which again has a towel, so not a big issue with veggie mess. Why are you not loading? Hey, ZB. I am very interested in the layout of your bird room and other rooms you let them play in. Could you post some photos and give me a very brief description of how you've made it bird safe, poop safe? I've seen you've covered it virtually every surface with sheets of fabric, and fun for them. If you can, please also point out their favorite spots. For example, is there a certain high place they like to fly up to and just sit there? Thanks a lot. So, I'm not going to be posting pictures because we're doing a video instead. I did post pictures yesterday, if you wanted to look at those. But, so how I make them bird safe and poop safe? Well, towels is really the main thing. Like I said a couple times earlier and showed, the fitted bed sheet is kind of the best way if you've got like a standing play gym, towels, the veggie box, generally things like that. That's really how I keep things kind of like poop safe and seed safe. Bird safe? Let's take a look. Alright, so I guess one of the biggest things I do is this white sheet. You can see here. It is a mirror. So birds don't need to look themselves. They know they're pretty. So the mirror just kind of is pointless for them to have there because they can just fly into it. I trust them enough that I don't think they would, but there's no need to have it there. So I'm gonna cover it. I guess bird safe cage wise, I don't have any mirrors in their cages. I inspect all their toys frequently. Hi! You know you're not supposed to do that. Anyhow. I inspect all of their toys pretty frequently. I make sure to change things out. So if anything is falling apart, or if like a rope perch is falling apart, I trimmed anything. Thankfully none of them have. If I notice that any of these wood perches have like splits in them that could catch toes, I'll either like sand them down or replace the perch. Generally just making sure things in here are safe, making sure there's nothing that could catch their toes or that could be a choking hazard or things like that. Same goes for ZB's cage, obviously. With this light that I still haven't figured out where to put it, I always make sure the cord for that is not reachable by them or is like wrapped up. So right now, it runs all the way down here because I don't actually know where I'm putting it. They're not going to go there. They're really not. If I noticed they were having interest in the lamp, I would just move it away. Most of the time when I store it, I was just using it, I'll put it actually down there, which is like a step lower, and then flip that part down, and then it's out of the way. It's not a hazard. Any other cords? This power bar, which you guys are plugged into. This will get tucked underneath. And, you know, any cords are just generally out of the places where they're gonna be, and they're gonna be closer to where I am. So that way I can be close to them and notice, hey, a bird's coming close, time to move the cords out of the way. Make sure that things are generally safe. There's another cord right there as well, which runs down and behind that. So again, it's not something they can get to unless they're right next to where I am, where I could then see them. So all the cords are basically out of the way, hidden, or just out of reach, unless they're in a position where I'm really close to it. So I would be able to stop them if I noticed them being like, hey, what's that? I'm gonna go eat it. Not that you would ever do that. Okay, so what I do to keep windows safe is generally put something in front of them. I don't have anything in front of the other window right now. So for windows, you can see this one has the net all over it, so if they decide to fly at the window, they can land on the net. For this one, there is nothing on it. There used to be, and that's just because I open this window a lot. They do have the stuff hanging in front of it, though, so if they do fly this way, they tend to land on that stuff before considering the window. I'm not sure what else could be considered a hazard in this room, to be honest. The light bulb, I guess? I don't know. The light bulb always goes, it gets turned off whenever they're on those ropes. So that way if they start to kind of like walk towards the bulb, they won't pick at it or get burnt or anything. It doesn't really get that hot. But it's still something there. I really don't think there's any more hazards in this room. Oh, I know. This door has, you guys have to be plugged in, so I don't know if you can see it. It has a net on it. And the net is one of those magic mesh things, so you can just kind of like push through and it connects with magnets. And that's there because the birds downstairs can cause Mia to be like, hey, I want to go hang out, and she'll try and she used to just kind of fly out the door and end up in the stairwell, which you can kind of make out down there. And then she'd fly down. I don't want her getting hurt or anything stupid. So we've covered this up. So now she can, if she flies, she can kind of land there and she'll chill for a bit. And then she won't be hurting herself or getting into trouble or anything like that. Okay, so how I've made it fun for them, I guess, is really utilizing the space at the best that I could. So I've tried to arrange the room in ways that may use up the full space and encourage them to use the full space. If I kept everything just on that one desk in the corner, you know, the rest of the room would be really empty and they really wouldn't be using it. They wouldn't find a need to be really traveling around in it. Whereas now that I have it covering the whole perimeter of the room, I'm more inclined to kind of fly across it or, you know, run around the edges and have a bit more fun with the space. And then they also have the ropes on the ceiling, which adds, you know, more depth to the room. The other thing to keep it interesting is to keep it changing. So I like to change at least one thing a day, whether that's, you know, just showing them a new object or moving one perch or moving one toy. It keeps the environment a little different. Having these small changes aren't much, but they do help make things a lot more fun for them, a lot more interesting, and it keeps things that maybe they weren't as interested in before seeming more new and interesting, and they're going to be much more inclined to go and play with them. Can you point out their favorite spots? Okay, so favorite spots. Let's go look. Okay, so Mia's favorite spot, when this camera focuses, there it goes. Yeah, so Mia's favorite spot is up there, where she is right now. I don't know why, particularly. There's nothing up there. It's also not the highest place. These are the highest places. So I don't know what she likes about up there, but she really likes being up there. Maybe it's because she's really close to the door so she can make a quick escape. Mia's favorite place to sleep is up on this thing, usually right there, on that perch. And then she'll floof up, and her head feathers will stick out the roof of the cage, and it's really cute. ZB sleeps on this, and she'll kind of like chew this thing before bed. ZB likes this one. She likes to sit right here for some reason. She doesn't even like this toy. She hates this toy. But she likes to sit right there for no reason. It's just something about right there that's really fun. And then this, which you can't make out because the lighting kind of sucks. Oh, they're kind of a bit better. But they like to sit on this together, and they'll snuggle on this, or they'll start to kind of fall asleep on this before bed. And they kind of like that spot, and then Mia really likes that one when the sun's out, because she gets to sit right by the window and take a little sun bath. Alright, so that's all the questions you guys had. I hope this video was at least better than the last one. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. It really made this a lot more fun to do and a lot more interesting to do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful somewhat. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Leave a comment, send me a message on Tumblr. Doesn't matter. Do whatever the heck you feel like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.